So, what do you make of Harry? It's an ambitious attempt by Calman, isn't it, to write the novel from the perspective of an 11-year-old Ghanaian boy who's only recently arrived in England. Does he succeed? Is it convincing? Have a look at Rachel Aspden's review of the novel in The Guardian. She describes the narrative voice as laboured at times. Do you agree with her? Does Harry's voice sound right? Or is it like Calman is just trying that little bit too hard to create this innocent, naive voice in order to induce your sympathy? In fact, one of the things you could look at is how he creates this voice. What kind of language does he use? What kind of vocabulary? What kind of sentence structures? There's no doubt, though, that he does force us to consider Harry's innocence and naivety through the use of dramatic irony. That means that we as readers know things that Harry doesn't. We know, for instance, that the term fuzzy wuzzy is a racist term that Harry's mum encounters in the hospital, whereas Harry believes his mum and Auntie Sandra's definition, that it refers to the sound of new shoes on the squeaky hospital floors. Harry is innocence waiting to be lost. If you're writing about Pigeon English in the exam, I think you can talk about this on a personal and individual level for Harry and on a wider social level. Harry isn't just Harry. Harry is all children growing up on a council estate in an inner city in 21st century Britain. And in this respect, we could say that Calman is presenting us with a microcosm. Microcosmic means a little mini version, a little Lego version, if you like, of a bigger reality. And in his little Lego version, his microcosmic representation of British society, we see a world where childhood is corrupted. From the very beginning of the novel, innocent childhood meets violent death head on. What does Harry give to Jordan as an offering? A gift to the dead boy? A little symbol of sweetness and innocence, a strawberry chewit. Right from the start, there's this sense that time is ticking, that Harry's childhood is on the way out. He wants to cling on to it, but can't. Look at how he talks about his baby sister Agnes, for example. He says, Agnes loves to blow spit bubbles. She's only still allowed because she's a baby. I even want to blow lots of them, as many as she wants and forever. Harry wants his little sister's childhood and innocence to last forever. Calman makes it clear to us that Harry's clearly won't. In fact, in a literal sense, we can see from the beginning of the novel that Harry's physical death is fast approaching. The novel is packed with foreshadowing. That means that the author is constantly hinting that something bad is going to happen. Let's look at the scene where Harry's mum and Aunt Sandra are in the kitchen again. This is one of those classic moments where English teachers find deeper meaning in something. But listen, it says, Mama and Aunt Sandra were smashing the tomatoes for the palaver sauce. It was like a race to see who could kill them first. I swear it made me glad I'm not a tomato. The problem, of course, though, is that Harry is a tomato. He is one of those tomatoes in the bowl, desperately trying to escape the inevitable. Death. Death will come, literally and metaphorically. Harry will die by the end of the novel, and innocence will also be lost. There is too much violence, too much of an obsession with hierarchy and abuse of power, too much conflict and fear, too little community cohesion for innocence to survive. The brutality of the environment which Harry is growing up in is seen, for example, in the playground. We're told that the swings, a kind of symbol of childhood freedom and escape and innocence and joy, are always broken, Harry says, from the dog bites. On page 18, we're told that Crossfire makes his dog Harvey bite the swings in the playground. That's how he keeps him extra hucious. He actually hangs off them with his teeth and swings around in the air like a crazy helicopter, Calman says. So when does innocence finally perish? Well, read from around page 248 onwards. We're told that everyone went to watch the playground die. There's that inevitability about it again. Look at what it says on page 250. The playground was dying, but nobody was trying to save it. They knew that they couldn't do anything. The ironic thing, of course, is that this death of innocence, this symbol of destruction, is actually the one thing at this moment that seems to bring the community together. This is a community that craves a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a sense of cohesion, but they're seeking it in all the wrong ways. For a moment, it feels like a community, though. Listen to this. It made you feel like you were together, like you knew everybody, even if you never talked to them before and you don't know their name. They were all on your side. It's the best thing about a war, Kalman says. When the fire is gone, though, the crowd is left with ugliness and destruction. As Harry says, it just looked dirty and dead. It made you feel dead as well. The playground is dead. Innocence is dead. In the brutal environment of Harry's estate, hope itself seems to have died. In a novel where the word brutal is used 38 times, it's not surprising that an 11-year-old child and his innocence have died. Thank you for watching. I hope it's helped you in studying Pigeon English. If you know someone else who might find it useful, please share it with them. And if you're studying English literature or English language, just hit that subscribe button and I'll be back.
Hit that subscribe button.
Right.
Ready? Go.
Just hit that.
Okay.